I heard that the Learning Resource Center has some kind of class on how to get help with studying for a test.
Uh huh. We do have special workshops, but we don't really have any classes that deal with just test preparation. But we do have tutors for particular subject areas. What test are you studying for?
Uh, Not any test in particular, but uh, I'm taking some difficult courses this semester, and I have a lot of reading to do. I just feel like I need to bone up on my study skills. Learn how to study better.
Uh huh.
I spend a lot of time studying, but still have trouble organizing my notes and stuff. I was hoping I could get some help with that.
Okay. You could take one of our special workshops. There are several of these each week. The workshops in study skills and time management are especially popular. Would you be interested in doing something like that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. We have several workshops. All of them are 2 hours long. Most are held in the evening, but there's a couple that are on the weekend.
Yeah, I see that. Evenings will be good for me because I work on weekends. Um, so the classes are just 2 hour workshops that just meet once? Or does the class continue every week?
They're just one time workshops. I mean, except for the class called Super Student. That one runs for 3 Wednesday nights starting next week.
Super student? I get it. It makes you like Superman.
Well, I don't know about that.
So, how does this work? Do you have to register for these workshops?
Yes, but it's only a matter of signing up. Do you see that board over there? The whiteboard next to it, just to the right of the computers?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's a sheet there for every workshop offered this semester, and that's how you sign up. Some of the workshops are given more than once. You just write your name in any available space under a particular date and time. When there are no more spaces left, that means the class is closed. We have to have a limit because there's only so much space in our classroom.
How much does a workshop cost?
There isn't any cost. All of the workshops are free to students.
Hey, that's not a bad deal. Okay, thanks for the info. I guess I'll see if there's any workshop that looks good.
I'll be right here if you have any more questions.
Okay, thanks. Hello.
Hello.
name क्या है?
Um, I,
More than 2,000 years separated two of the world's great educational philosophers, Confucius and Dewey. Yet, despite their uh, separation in time and space, both of these thinkers held some interesting and amazingly parallel ideas about teaching and learning. Confucius lived during the 6th century BC, during China's classical age, and is generally held to be China's greatest and most influential philosopher. Confucius was, and still is, considered both reactionary and revolutionary. He's reactionary because his perspective looked to the past, to the wisdom of the ancients. Confucius felt that his role as a teacher was to carry on the ancient tradition rather than to create something new. He said, I transmit, but do not create. I have faith in and love for ancient studies. During his lifetime, Confucius studied and commented on several texts of the ancient tradition, including the books known as the Six Classics. Yes, Tracy?
If Confucius just studied the ancient books, why was he considered a philosopher? I mean, he didn't create anything new, he just talked about other people's work.
The way he looked to the past, his focus on the classical texts, that's the reactionary side of Confucianism.
Okay, but if he didn't create anything new, how does this make him a revolutionary?
Confucius was a revolutionary because he believed that there should be no distinction of social class in education. He believed that education should be um, not just for the privileged class, but for any boy or girl who was able and willing to learn. Confucius stressed education for practical use because he believed the goal of education is to improve all of humanity. This aspect of Confucianism shares a core belief with the Western philosophy of pragmatism. According to pragmatism, the value of knowledge is a function of its practical outcome, that is, its usefulness to both the individual and the society. In the early 20th century, pragmatism was highly influential in several fields, like government, business, but especially education. One of its leading thinkers was the American philosopher John Dewey. Like Confucius, Dewey was a scholar and educator whose ideas have had a tremendous impact both in his time and beyond. Like Confucius, Dewey has a place among our greatest thinkers. As was the case with Confucius, some of Dewey's ideas were considered revolutionary. Dewey's ideas about individuality and social progress were radical in the early 20th century. Dewey believed that the cultivation of the individual would benefit society as a whole, and therefore, the education of individual students is good for social progress. This is similar to the Confucian idea that if a man is true to his inner self, he will achieve true greatness, and that the greatness of individuals is necessary for social order. Despite the centuries that separated them, Confucius and Dewey held some similar ideas about knowledge, teaching, and learning. Confucius believed that the processes of teaching and learning stimulate each other. Teaching is half of learning, and the ideal teacher is one who goes over what he's already learned and gains some new understanding from the experience. Compare this to Dewey's idea that education is a continuously constructive process with experience and knowledge building on each other.